everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're going to start a new show and tell video, and the first thing I have to show you is pretty cool. Check out this super cool vintage, it says Supertune, Canadian Tire Corporation. It's a 6-volt underdash AM radio. Oh man, I hope this thing works. Isn't it cute? Awesome. Next, we've got this bin. Now, I got this for $2 because I wanted the bin. These are great in the back of a pickup truck. These are the old bins from the conveyor belts at the grocery store that took your groceries out to your car. So we're going to empty it out anyway and see if there's anything good in here. So here's some of the interesting stuff we found in that bin. I got to make this quick because it's going on 9 o'clock and we are getting eaten alive out here. This is nice. Look at that. Brand new Elgin hardwood hammer handle. Garant. We've worked on some Garant things around here before. A couple of bins of hardware. This is intriguing. A Craftsman 14.4 impact driver. I'm going to see if I can get a cheap battery and a charger for this. That's probably a nice tool. And I don't know, I just found this interesting, this little jig that somebody was using for drilling holes through something. A few other little bits and pieces. My dad was here the other day. This is for you, Dad, a 27-inch bicycle tube. Brand new in the package. He was complaining that he couldn't find one anywhere. Well, haha, you've come to the right place, Dad. I also got this little tray here that's full of probably mostly scrap metal, but there is a few little goodies I've noticed in here. There's a couple of packs of automotive fuses. Look at this nice little red tattletale light. So most of this will end up in the scrap, but we'll keep a couple of things. And here's our bin. Happy to report no cracks or holes or nothing in it. That's excellent. These are great to have in the back of your truck. We've got one in the one truck that we got at an auction somewhere, and now we've got another one. Well, we've been to another auction, and I got these 7 tires for $2, and the jury's out on that, whether that was a deal or not. But we've got a couple of little projects around here that involve old tires, and strangely, I had such a big cleanup before. I got rid of all my old tires, so for $2, I'll use these for what I need to use them for, and then take them to the dump. Next, we've got these 2 trailer locks. They at the auction, they didn't know what these were, but I did. I got the pair of them for $6. So what these are if you've got a tandem axle trailer, you can use these for 2 things. They're dual purpose. So you use this because you use this to adjust how far the throw is on them. And then you put this in between your wheels and you go like that, and that's a cam lock, and that locks it. Now, if you want to use these to secure your trailer, you just put a padlock through there, and it makes it hard for someone to steal it. But mostly what people use these for is if you have to park your trailer on a hill, it acts as a parking brake. And if you have a tandem axle camping trailer, you jam these in there, and it keeps the trailer from going like this when you're inside it, because even though you've got it on the jacks have a little flex in them, and it will rock back and forth. So you put these in between your wheels, and it'll stop that action. The last thing we got there today is this top and bottom toolbox. $50. How can you go wrong? I need up in the barn. Sometimes I, fiddle around with stuff up there because a car won't start, or I got to do a tiny little repair on something. And I have got tools up there everywhere. So now we've got this nice old snap-on toolbox. We can put tools inside here. There's one thing we have to do. Look, we have to shim this thing up a bit so that drawer doesn't hit that. And it's got down below. This is homemade, by the way, made out of heavy metal. Down below, it's got a shelf. Looks like it used to have a couple of drawers in there, but we don't need that. And we can put some of our larger stuff in there. This was a good buy. Here's a bunch of stuff that Deb got. She's going to explain to you now what it all is.
Okay, so we have some picture frames. I just wanted the frames, not necessarily the pictures. They were a couple dollars. This was a lot. I wanted this plate. The rest of the stuff can go back to auction. I don't know if anybody remembers the Mulex machines. We had one of these when we first got married, so 30 odd year ago, and we actually wore it out. So hopefully this one works, and we can go back to making all the good foods again that we made with that. And then I also got a little quilt with 2 pillow covers to hopefully protect the beds from those 2 hooligan dogs we own. Here's some more items we got. This is one lot of Tupperware. We'll definitely be keeping from here over. These match the set I have for all my baking supplies. These ones, I'll double check, but I don't think I need them, so they'll go back to auction. The glassware, I definitely don't need any more of that, so that'll go back. And we also got one lot of videos, which these ones will go back, and these are the ones we're going to keep. So it was like, I think, $1 or $2, and we got 5 movies for that.
We got these 4 driveway markers, and these are pretty decent ones. They got metal sticks on them, so that'll be handy to have around here in the winter when the snow starts piling up. We got this here shop vac because out in the shop, I've got a little shop vac like this that I use for, on a nice day if I'm outside cleaning the car or something, I'll bring it outside to vacuum the car out. Unfortunately, since I got the lathe and the mill and the valve cutting machine and all that stuff, I've been using my little outside vacuum to clean those up, and the end of it is all covered in grease and cutting oil, and it's too gross to clean a car with. But look at this beautiful little shop vac. I got it for 10 bucks. Yeah, I love these auctions. They're the best. And then here, you know me and old radios. I just have this thing for old radios. And we've got some cool stuff here. This here, old school, it's a reverb. If you're not aware of what a reverb does, it's for the old cars, 50s and 60s cars that just had an AM radio, monaural, so just one channel. They usually just had one speaker. So what you would do is you'd get a reverb and you'd put a second speaker in the back of the car, and it would add like a kind of like an echo effect to it, and it's all adjustable, and it would make it sound a little more, you know, that make the AM radio not really hi-fi, but it would just make it sound a little different. We also got this pretty cool old Roadstar AM FM cassette. It's missing the knobs and the faceplate, but I've got lots of stuff like that. It came with a lot, so it is what it is. We'll see if it works. It looks like it's in pretty decent shape cosmetically. That usually means it hasn't been sitting out in somebody's shed for 20 years. And then the last thing, super, super cool. For an old car that's just got an AM radio, this is a vintage automatic radio underdash FM converter. So you run your antenna, the antenna from the fender into this, and then a little patch cord from this into the antenna port on your radio. You tune the radio to around 1430 and turn this on, and you can listen to FM over your AM radio. That's what we all used to do. But we had these little tiny ones that were about the size of a pack of cigarettes that, you know, in the 80s and 90s we used to get. This is an oldie, this one. This will go really nice in one of my old cars. We got these little maple trees at the auction too. They were selling them for like a couple of bucks a piece. So we got a few blank spots around here we could use a tree. Like my neighbor Sam says, the best time to plant a tree is yesterday. And then Deb was out cruising around and stumbled across a yard sale, and she got this neat flexible garden edging. So we're going to try putting that in around her little garden at the end of the porch, because the one that's there is plastic, and I keep hitting it with the lawnmower and the whippersnipper, and it's in a terrible mess. Here's another good load of stuff from the auction. This is a really nice set of car ramps. These things are like $85 at Canadian Tire. I got them for 10 bucks. How do you go wrong with that? This here is some really good stuff. All this for $2. These are VDO, man. These are good instruments. So we got here a clock, temperature gauge, and a voltmeter. We'll see if they work. I'm going to put them in my stuff to test pile, and we'll see if these things actually work. These are really, really nice instruments, and they're the large 2 5/8 size. They're not the small 2-inch gauges like you normally see. And they mount with these nice grommets. They don't have that crab on the back like a normal gauge. This, honestly, this panel looks, I don't know what this is out of. Maybe a boat? Hard to say. But anyway, we'll see if they work and go from there. Next, we've got one of these things. This is just for lapping valves. You put a suction cup on the end of it, and then you hold it down and you turn it, and you'll see there how it goes back and forth, and that lets you lap in your valves. The other way, of course, is the little suction cup, and you go like that. It does the same thing, but this is, I don't know, it's more of a gimmicky thing than anything. Zim Manufacturing Company, Chicago. Then we've got this pretty cool thing. It's apparently a vacuum leak tester. So I have to read up about it and see, like, if this is for checking for vacuum leaks on cars, or is it something else? Oh yeah, scan engine directing probe. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll look, old Panasonic battery. We'll make sure the batteries are good in this thing, and we will try it out. We'll get an engine and we'll purposely make a vacuum leak on it and see if this thing can detect it. This could be a invaluable diagnostic tool if it actually works. What I paid for it. And now this thing, we get to the final thing. This, out of all this stuff, is the thing that I'm the most happiest to get. I have been looking for one of these things for forever. Forever. I saw a picture of one in a magazine once and I said, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's made by Snap-on, and what this is a spark plug gapper. It's old. It's from the 50s or the 60s. It doesn't have the 80 thou ones like you would need for HEI, but for the stuff we work on, it goes up to 35 thou, which is fine for, you know, old tractors and old cars with points ignition. So what we're going to do is, I'll show you how it works. I'm going to select a thin one right there. That's 18 thousandths. So you spin it around till you get the blade you want there. You get your spark plug here. You put it in there. You put that. You see here how we got the electrode up, right? And then you squeeze it. Whoops. Hang on. There you go. You give it a squeeze, and it pushes the spark plug up against that anvil and gaps it to whatever you set it to. Again, I don't know, some people might think it's a gimmicky thing, but I just saw this, there, that's good, and thought it was a cool thing. So we'll try it in practical use and see if it works. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Well, you know how they say sometimes, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. Well, this was one of those cases. I was kind of scrolling through the ads on Marketplace, and this thing popped up literally as I was looking, 10 minutes from home for 50 bucks. Went up there, grabbed it. It works. There's nothing wrong with it. And I've been looking for one of these for a very long time. It's a good capacity one too. And there's still a sticker on it that's called a Monarch. So I'm going to look it up and see what I can find out about it. Oh, here's our cement mixer out of the trailer. And check this out. It works. Don't like it. Oh, there's a car parked over there. Here's a cool thing that I've been after for a long time. This is a Burns-O-Matic TS8000 map gas torch kit. Let's see what's in here. Well, a bottle of map gas. The torch. Instructions. Who needs those? Alright, so that's it. It doesn't seem to have any different tips or anything. I've been a long time needing one of these because these things really pump out the heat. And every time I go to get my oxygen and acetylene bottles filled, it seems to cost more. These things, there's a lot you can do with these things. You can heat stuff up. I showed you in previous videos with even my crappy MAP gas torch how we were able to heat up the end of a connecting rod to put the wrist pin in. Okay, so now we got to figure out how it works. Okay, that locks it. That unlocks it. Let's see here. Oh yeah! So you hold that and you push that down and it stays on. This thing gets hot. I can feel the heat on my face. Way hotter than my old MAP gas torch. This should be a fun toy. Here's a cool tool. If you're fiddling around porting cylinder heads and stuff, a Dremel, it's a 1/8 die grinder. It just doesn't really have the punch to do it. You can use a 1/4 inch air die grinder, but you need a pretty serious compressor to run that. The best solution is a 1/4 inch electric die grinder, and you don't see these everywhere. Canadian Tire has had this one for a long time. Regular price $120, but they have discontinued it. So I was able to get this one clearance for $59.99. This is going to be great. We're going to do a lot of work with this thing. Let's see what it looks like. I'm not going to get it all out now, but it's decent enough looking tool. We'll try it out in due time. Here's the latest load of junk from the auction. I got everything in this box for $2. So the first thing here is a set of floor mats for a Chrysler 200. Whoop-de-doo. Here is a set of 14-inch Honda wheel covers. They look like actual, real, genuine factory ones, eh? Yeah, look at that. Look like they got Honda numbers on them. Anyway, whatever. Nice curb rub on that one. But anyway, what I was interested in is all these ice scrapers. All just, look at these little squeegees. I'll just spread these out across all of our cars. And yeah, that's pretty good. Those things are like $4 or $5 each. And I got this, which is brand new. It's a magnifying lamp, like this one over here on our workbench. And I really like this one. It's really handy. So I'm going to set this one up on our hobby bench down in the basement of the house. Yeah, very nice. Well, that'll do it for this one. That was an excellent load of show and tell stuff. I'm so happy I finally got a cement mixer. Anyway, we'll keep the show and tell stuff coming because I know a lot of you find that very interesting or amusing. It's great that you can find this stuff kicking around. You just gotta watch the classifieds, watch the auctions, and you don't have to pay big bucks to get the stuff you need. It's out there for cheap. You just gotta be patient and find it. Anyway, I'm gonna take off now. I want to thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you'll come back and see what we're doing next time. And until then, this is Kevin signing off from the Claremont Classic Garage. Thanks and so long.